Hey guys, Josh, Modern Muscle Garage. I want to talk to you about a couple things today. First, I've been on the hunt for another project car to build for me in between customer builds. Well, it was a swing and a miss again, boys. But I went and looked at the 72 Camaro and had a little 5.3 sitting in it with a 4L80E. I really wanted the motor and transmission out of it, but he wouldn't sell it separate. But anyway, I wanted the whole car. He told me the floor pans had rust and the trunk pan had rust. Well, it was the entire floor from the toe boards back, which is not that big a deal. I made him an offer on the car. He didn't accept. So, I had a number that I was willing to pay once I laid my eyes on it, and he just wasn't willing to accept. So, no harm, no foul, right? So, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. Late last night, I got on Facebook, and a good friend of mine posted his car. I'm not going to say what it is yet. If I get it, I'll post a video on it, and I'm going to be jumping up and down happy that I got this car. But this was his high school car. He's had owned this car for probably 30 years, and it's torn apart. He doesn't think that he's gonna be able to finish it. So I don't know what's going on in his life, where he's at, but it's none of my business. And I try to stay in my lane on everybody's business. But I did tell him if he decides to sell the car, I want it. And he told me if he did decide to sell it, I'd be first in line. I will tell you this about this car. It is one of my bucket list cars. I know I haven't shared my bucket list of cars, but it is on there. It's close to the top. Anyway, so hopefully he'll sell me the car. If he doesn't, I'm not going to have my feelings hurt as long as he builds the car. I will have my feelings hurt if he sells it to somebody else. I even told him I'd help him build the car if he kept the car. It would not bother me a bit if he kept his own car, but it is going to be what it is. The other thing I want to talk to you about, I'm going to share my new project, my new customer build that came in the shop today. He got all of his parts set in, and well, most of his parts are in, and enough to get started anyways. I'm going to share that with you, do a little walk around video of it, and kind of go over what we're going to do. And my goals for the truck, all that stuff. The other thing I want to talk to you about is I'm thinking about doing a tutorial video segment. Nothing in depth, nothing crazy. I'm thinking about doing simple stuff for guys that maybe have an interest in cars, but their dad wasn't interested in cars, or they don't have anybody around to show them how to do basic stuff, basic maintenance. How to check your oil, how to change your oil, how to change your tire, how to do stuff like that. I was fortunate. My dad was into cars. Me and him built cars my whole life. I've passed that on to my boys. Well, one of my boys. My oldest boy wasn't really interested in building cars. He likes cars and trucks, just like every other boy, but he wasn't as interested in building cars or doing that kind of work as my youngest boy. This truck behind me, this blue one, that actually belongs to my youngest son. He bought that truck when he was 17 years old. And out of this whole build, he'll be 21 next month. He's put probably 90% of his own money into this truck. Now, this truck had wheels, tires, paint, LS swap, interior done. That's where we're at so far. He's still got suspension. He's still got a vintage air. He's still got a lot of stuff to do. But you know what? Hey, he's 20 years old, and he's still building on his dream truck. And he'll tell you he's thankful that he had me there to show him and to build it. So he can take his experience off building this truck and put it off to any other thing in his life as far as automotive goes. He's studying to be a pilot. He's not wanting to be a mechanic, which I'm glad for that. He'll have a great career as a pilot. But he knows enough now if he has to take any vehicle he ever owns into a mechanic shop, and he knows enough to not be screwed. And that's why I'm wanting to do the segment on how not to get screwed at a mechanic shop, basically, because knowledge is power. And if you know enough, you don't have to be a mechanic. You don't have to know every part in the engine bay. But if you know enough to know something doesn't sound right, then you won't get screwed over, or there's a less chance of you getting screwed over. I know probably a majority of the population has been screwed over by a mechanic shop at one point or another. And that irks me really, really bad. It gives a bad name to everybody that's doing mechanic work. Now, I don't do general repair, not anymore. I do strictly performance work and classic builds. That's all I do. The only time I will do any general repair is if it is somebody that I'm friends with and they're in a bind. I mean, I'll help anybody that I can help. But that is the only time I do general repair. I've got a couple other shops that I'll try to send them to, and if that's how that goes, and that's how it goes. If they're really in a bind, I'll do it, but for the most part, I don't. Anyway, so moving on. Let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about that. I mean, I know anybody that's pretty much watching this page probably has that experience, but maybe you know somebody that doesn't, or what. I mean, because if we don't start helping this generation behind mine and the younger kids coming up, if we don't do that, then our passion is going to die. Our love for cars and automotive and racing and restorations. I mean, you know, all that stuff's going to go away if we don't pass the torch and help these younger generations get interested in our sport and our hobbies. I know I don't want to see hot rodding fall away, and with the EVs coming out and everything else, it's looking like it's headed that direction, but it's up to us to keep it alive. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. I do have a new project in the shop. It's one of my customers finally got all his parts gathered up, and he brought it over today. So I'm gonna give you a little walk around of it and kind of talk about what we're gonna do and let you take a look. Hang on.